Alright, we elected to wait till first light this morning to kind of start making our way over to where we think the elk are, because there's a bunch of deadfall between here and there, and we didn't want to run anything out without us knowing where we needed to go. So everybody's kind of getting their gear together, and we're gonna start making our way down the mountain. We're gonna kind of go up and over the first little ridge here, and then start working this thick timber on the way over to where we've been seeing the elk. So it's a little chilly this morning, but it feels good. Like, it's not unbearable. So, how'd y'all sleep? Alright, let's go kill an elk.
With a piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walked to the water for a last goodbye. He begged so much, it clouded my mind. One thing's clear, the man's gotta die. Might makes right, so he said, when he held all the keys over our head. I lived in that grip, but now he'll learn at the end with the tables turned. Lord, forgive me. Take me on down the river where the guilt can't find a red-handed sinner. On where the grave can't cry out, 'cause I done wrong. Down the river with a hand on a Colt and a finger on the trigger, and long before dawn they try to find me. So take me on down. Take me on down. Just got this jacket on me, something. Ready?
Yeah, if you're ready. Let's go kill something. a separate caller. I can go with him, because he can call, and I guess you can sit over here. So what we've got is we split up into two teams. You got Joseph over here, you got Ben and Chandler over here. I've dropped down. The thermals are still coming down. I've dropped down from them and I'm going to start cold calling. We haven't heard any bugles yet this morning, but we're kind of hoping to get one to draw in just like we did when I shot my bull last week. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get one to suck down in here and maybe give one of these guys a chance or a good shot. We'll see what happens. Heard one. You guys didn't hear that bugle up top? I'm sure it was him. There's a super light bugle up top. Right before you first started reading. Come down, but what to do. This thing actually helps a lot during the day. Oh yeah. Little tripod. You can see the fear in his eyes. So we finally broke through all the deadfall. For now. That stuff was ridiculous. We ended up seeing one elk. We about got ran over by a spike. That sucker come through about 100 miles an hour. But yeah, we're not hearing anything really at all this morning, and we're kind of just gonna sit here and glass up this ridge up here where we've seen some elk the last couple days, and then we're gonna kind of work our way back to camp. And I guess depending on what we see between here and there, it's gonna kind of depend on what we do tomorrow. But so far it's slow. Hopefully it starts kicking in. We're gonna sit here and eat some lunch and drink some water. If I had to guess, they're bedding somewhere in there. Nothing. We've put in quite a few miles today. We've been hiking since this morning, and we have yet to hear a bugle. Possible bugle, maybe. Not 100%. I'm still not 100% sure it wasn't some guys, because we did run into some tracks down towards the end of the ridge that we were walking today. So that big storm that we were in the other day, it pushed down a lot of trees on the ridge we had planned on hunting. So it's made it almost impossible to hunt. We did jump up a spike in there, but that was it. Smelled a couple places that kind of smelled like elk. But what we got going on now is Joseph is set up down below me in a little draw that leads out into this open area where they've been feeding, and it leads out from the dark timber where we think they're bedding. Then we got Ben and Chandler set up in the meadow where the wallow is, where we've already seen elk recently, and where we saw the elk, 2 big elk last year in that spot. So They're set up there on a travel route going into that meadow. And what I'm doing is I'm up top on the very top of this ridge, and I can see where Joseph's at. I can see the big opening where we've been seeing them feed, and I can also see over here to my right, which is a big open area on the next ridge over that we've been seeing elk every day. The only reason we're not hunting that right now is because it's going to be a bear to get one out, but depending on what we see tonight, depends on whether we get up about 3:30 in the morning and start making our way over to that ridge with intentions of hunting there for a couple days. It's a huge ridge. It's way bigger than this one, and there's a lot of area we can hunt. So I'm up here glassing. I'm gonna glass this evening. I'm hoping I see a bunch of elk over there, and I really hope I see a bunch of elk over here, and I really hope that Joseph or Ben or both of them shoot a big old elk this evening. So I'm gonna set the camera down. I'm letting my shirt and stuff dry out real quick, and then I'm gonna stick it back on. But it should start cooling off here pretty soon. I think it's 5:40, so we got several hours left of daylight, and we're hoping to start seeing some movement here pretty soon. So cross our fingers. Please, Lord, let us kill a couple more elk, and we're still having the faith, baby. I mean, that's what this whole trip's about, and this whole season for me is going to be about just having faith in the Lord and knowing that His plan is going to come true, no matter if it's what you want or what you think you need. So I'm going to set this camera down and eat me a snack and start doing some glassing. Catch you here in a little bit.
Three liters today.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
I think I drank one.
Yeah. Feeling it, man. This altitude. Lips are all chapped.
Oh yeah.
Could be from the reeds too, pollen.
Dude, my turd was so thick today. I was like, it's gotta be the altitude.
He's videotaping.
Oh. Could have mistaken it for one of these logs, man. Down tree.
You step on it instead of squishing it, lifts you up a little bit.
Yeah, it rolled my ankle.
Alright, so the end of what we're going to call Ben and Joseph's day one. The first part of the day kind of sucked. We didn't really hear anything, didn't really see a whole lot. Ben almost got ran over by a spike. But it would have been okay. He was going to lasso the thing and ride it down the mountain. Totally worth it. What's for dinner tonight, man?
Ramen, mashed potatoes, spam.
What you got tonight?
Some more ramen and potatoes.
What you got?
Ramen bomb. Same thing Ben does.
We might as well buy stock in ramen.
Shit.
Ramen and spam. But no, right at the end of the night, Chandler and Ben were able to get some freaking awesome footage of some big mule deer. Hopefully I'm going to come back in October and kill. And then about 45 minutes before dark, they had a bull bugle right behind them. And then Joseph, either a separate elk or the same elk, had an encounter, crossed the ridge, didn't see it, but could hear it walking, kind of in response to his calls. So that kind of concludes the night. We're going to get a good meal on our bellies, and then we're going to get up early in the morning and kind of continue on this ridge and see if maybe they'll be talking a little more tomorrow. So kind of in and out day one. Not too bad. All right, guys. So day 9. Unfortunately, we did not take into account how bad that storm really was on day 4. The video probably doesn't do it justice, but this deadfall was unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, there were sections where we probably went 100 yards through the woods without ever even touching the ground, or 100 yards through the woods 4 or 5 feet off the ground. I mean, there were trees stacked 4 and 5 high, going through some of this area where we were at. And if I had to put a number on it, I would say that storm knocked down at least 50% of every live tree on that mountain. I mean, it just absolutely demolished the area we were in, and we honestly did not take into account how that would affect the elk's pattern. We put in a hard day that day, and we ended up only seeing a spike elk that almost ran Ben over. I mean, I wish we could have got that on video. That elk went, it was 20 yards, not even 20 feet from Ben. I mean, and he was running wide slam open. But we put a hard day in that day. We ended up splitting up, as you can see in the video. We split up, did some glassing. Ben and Joseph glassed up a big old mule deer. Chandler and Ben glassed up a big old mule deer that he was able to get on film. So that was pretty cool. One thing about it is we still were getting into elk at this time. And Joseph, where he was set up, there was like a little finger coming out of this deep, dark timber, going into where the meadow where we had videoed these elk feeding and kind of sparring with each other a couple days prior. He heard an elk walking. He could tell by the way it was walking. It was definitely an elk. And Ben and Chandler actually heard one bugle up behind them, which was actually when you see the film from when you actually see the film from the Full Draw Film Tour, there's a section in there where Nathan and I are up on this ridge top. We see this big bull come out into this bottom. Where Ben and Chandler were, that's where that elk had came out, and we had actually glassed an elk there a couple days prior to that. So we were in elk, and that's why we kept going back to this area, is because the elk were still there. Unfortunately, because there was so much deadfall, it really made it brutal to have any kind of play on them. So anyway, thanks for watching day 9, guys. It's kind of, some of the footage isn't really exciting footage, but this is how elk hunting really is. So that's why I wanted to bring you a day by day. I want y'all to see what elk hunting actually is, not just the kills, not just the misses, not just the encounters, even the days where we don't get close to elk. I want you to see it, guys. So thanks for watching. Remember to live your life to the fullest and use your passions to bless others. We'll catch you on day 10.